Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is going to be a video covering Xbox One again, doing a little bit more, sharing of the news that we're all reading, just to highlight some issues, just to highlight some observations, and just to get some more, wider understanding of how things are going to function. Because my last Xbox video for the new console did quite well, and I haven't seen anything on PlayStation yet, so I can kind of cover both of them as best as I can, because E3 is coming and I'm going to be covering that. So this can be kind of a stepping stone into more coverage of things that aren't just, Dark Souls, that aren't just trailers, things of that nature, just to try and branch out and cover some more interesting stuff in this industry that we all enjoy and we indulge in. So this is going to be sourced from IGN, which I know is not everybody's favourite source, but they've got a page up here with a lot of bullet points that I can go through that makes this really easy for me to do. And what this is in response to is Microsoft's published games and their used and rental, services and how it's going to be affected. Because as we all know, used games and rented games are all going to be treated slightly different on this next console. We've heard a lot of scary rumours, and this is cutting the bullshit and saying exactly how it's going to work. So I'm just going to read bits of this, kind of paraphrase my own thoughts in there, and that's what this video is going to be. So it says, for the games Microsoft publishers, Microsoft Studios will allow you to give your games to friends or trade in your Xbox One games to used game stores. So right there they're telling you, you are able to give them to friends or trade them in, which is good news, but it comes with caveats, as it says here in this. And these caveats are a list of things that are going to be affected when you try and trade them or give them to a friend. First one is, you can only give Xbox One games to people who have been on your friends list for at least 30 days. So this is a strange one, this is essentially them. So immediately, you need to have a live account, so you need to be with Microsoft to benefit from this. So you can't just be the guy who wants to sample it. You have to have been on somebody's friends list. And also you have to be on somebody's friends list for effectively a month. Which, once again, they're trying to make it so that it's all loyalty retention. It's all about having customers, consumers, and keeping them. Which, I don't think this is how you do it, guys. I really don't. But there it is. There it is. The first point. Each game can only be given once. So this is the part that I find really baffling. It can only be given once to somebody else or to a store. So what does that mean for rental services? Do we get the disc and when we send it back, they snap it? Do they have to buy in bulk discs for this very purpose? Will the discs be cheaper as a direct result of this anti-piracy thing? Like, what the fuck is that? I always think back to tapes, man, to cassettes. When you listen to bands or music on a cassette and you needed to show people or tell people about these bands you liked, you give them the fucking cassette. You spread it around. It was people to people, and that's how they got the networking. That's how people heard of these things. That's how these cultures and these cults came about, man. And it's completely being destroyed. Same with stickers. How many stickers did you trade with when you were a kid? Stickers were a commodity, man. They were a childhood commodity that meant the world to people. And you met friends, you socialised, you did so much trying to trade cards, stickers, all that kind of stuff, collectible things. And games are no different. And they're completely destroying this, and I don't understand it. How can it only be given once? Can you request for it to be given more? Is it like going and phoning a company to get another product key when you waste it, use it, or forget it because you own the fucking game and you want to use it in a different context? How does this work? Like, the next one is, anyone can play your games on your console regardless of whether you are logged in. So that immediately tells you that the games are going to be console linked, not profile linked, which is a good thing. That is the first bit of good news so far, minus the above statement saying that you can trade them in and you can send them to friends, but with these caveats, with these facets, with this footnote of you could never do it really. That is the first piece of good news. Microsoft allows you to gift games to friends, but they can't borrow them. Microsoft says of this, loaning or renting games won't be available at launch, but we are exploring the possibility with our partners. So that means that they have to get in bed with like Blockbuster, even though that's going bust, LoveFilm, like Gamefly, I think, is another one. These services that send these discs out, there has to be some kind of partnership there where they get exclusivity or they get immunity to this, because this is going to cripple that part of their industry. Like, is this going to be the same with DVDs and films? Like, where does this end? So the next point, Xbox One will also allow you to give up to 10 family members access to log in and play from your shared games library on any one Xbox. So I suppose that is good news, because who the fuck has 10 people in their family unless it's Christmas or whatever? Like, I don't think I've ever had 10 people in my house that were family. Like, that's, I suppose, good news. And then we have, you can always play your games, but only one of your family members can be playing from your shared library at a given time. So that's saying that you can't have more than one playing. This seems like a big hole, man. A big hole. So third-party publishers like Activision, Ubisoft and Square Enix, however, may set up business terms or transfer fees with retailers. Microsoft does not receive any compensation of part of this arrangement. Third-party publishers also have the choice whether to allow you to give games to friends or not. So this is not just Microsoft at this point, this is leaving it up to the companies as well, which is putting it into some really fucking international waters kind of place. And I really don't get it. Like, on the backs of this news, Microsoft is losing this console generation, and it hasn't even started. What the fuck are they thinking? You know, the world is filled with piracy. The world is full of it. They have to embrace it and distribute in such a way that they not necessarily neutralize it, but they give you they incentivize you not to do it, you know? You can't just ignore it's there and put all these restrictions on, because all you're doing then is stopping the people that are going out and actually buying your product from doing that. You're not stopping the people who are stealing. The motherfuckers who are stealing are going to find a way to steal. That's what they do, you know? This is just hurting the audience that you presumably want. And it's madness. It's wow. Like, Sony would literally have to be found with a small child in a sexual situation for them to fuck this up now. This is unbelievable. Roll on E3.